Every time I watch professional runners online, I have the exact same thought. How the are they so successful? Did they run out of the womb? Is it genetic, or are they simply doing more? If you've been running for any amount of time, you've probably wondered the same thing. How long does it take to get significant results? How much do you need to be doing? So recently, I decided to put it to the test. For the past few months, I stopped training like myself and started training like the elites. If you're new here, hi, I'm Gigi. I started running in 2022 with zero athletic background, and since then, I've gotten first place in multiple races, including 2 half marathons. In this video, I'm walking you through what genuinely helped, what backfired, and if I think more recreational runners should train like the pros. Part 1. How to do more. Going into this, I thought the hardest part was going to be the actual running. It was not. The hardest part was trying to fit a professional athlete's schedule into the lifestyle of a regular-ass person while trying to simultaneously avoid injury. Not only do the pros run twice a day, most days, they cross-train, meaning I had to hop on a bike and do way more strength training. Plus, their entire schedule revolves on the fact that they will have time to recover later. Mine revolves around a full-time job, managing 4 pets, trying to become a content creator, and trying to remember to feed myself. Luckily and unluckily, work has been pretty slow, so most mornings I don't have a call until 11, so technically I am able to cram in most of the exercise load in the morning. However, fueling quickly became the biggest factor for me. When you're doubling your exercise load, grabbing whatever's in the fridge simply doesn't cut it, and having to cook, clean, sit, and do all the things takes forever. So I started meal prepping basically everything. My schedule quickly became run, eat, bike, eat, strength train, eat, recover. I'm not gonna lie to you, the first week I was feeling pretty confident in myself. It's kind of nice knowing that I can do so much in the morning. However, as time progressed, not only was I physically exhausted, I was mentally drained. When every free moment feels like it should belong to training, guilt creeps up right away. If I wasn't running, it felt like I should be stretching. If I wasn't stretching, it felt like I should be eating. If I wasn't eating, I'd feel guilty for resting or forgetting about taking out the dogs. That's when I started wondering, if this is how I feel after a fraction of what the elites do, how the heck do they pull it off? And what even am I getting out of this? Part 2, what actually helped? Here's what's slightly surprising. Not everything professional runners do is unrealistic, especially not for someone like me who works from home and has a very flexible schedule. Mind you, obviously the elites have more time than us because their entire job revolves around training and them being good at running. And most of us are trying to fit in a run before work, after class, or somewhere in between walking the dog and making dinner. So no, copying the whole lifestyle isn't realistic, but I do think that there are certain habits that are worth stealing. One of the biggest ones is making recovery ridiculously easy. I don't know if you knew this, but it also takes a certain level of motivation to want to stretch, to want to recover. And they build recovery into the day, so it's almost impossible not to do it. Take meal prepping, for example. I know everybody talks about meal prepping and it sounds incredibly boring, but I finally understood why people swear by it. After a hard workout, the last thing I want to do is spend 20 minutes figuring out what I'm going to eat, cleaning everything I used to make it, and putting everything away. Before taking on this challenge, I had meal prepped, but I hadn't necessarily made it a priority to do so. I'd find an excuse to do it another time, or I'd find an excuse to just eat and maybe clean later. Now I know how much better I feel when I do that, so it's staying in the routine. I can finish my run, eat my egg bites, walk the dog, and have more than enough time to get a good strength session in before showering. I've also become way more consistent with wearing my recovery boots. Realistically, I was wearing them maybe once, twice a week. Now I wear them basically every other day because I've paired it with something that I was already doing, checking my emails. If you're already going to be sitting down for 30-40 minutes watching Love Island, you might as well recover at the same time. Now my legs feel consistently more refreshed even though I'm doing more. The biggest thing I'm taking away from training like an elite is including more cross-training like riding the bike. The biggest improvement I've seen has quite literally been my fitness. My VO2 max skyrocketed ever since I started training like the pros. I can handle higher training loads without feeling drained, and even figured out ways to fit strength sessions in less than 30 minutes. My biggest excuse before this was thinking that all of those additional training moments were going to take way too long, when in reality I hadn't noticed how much I was procrastinating before. I cannot emphasize this enough, the only reason that I'm able to train like this is because I work from home. Unfortunately, there was one habit that I copied that does not translate into a normal person's life. Part 3, why I don't want to train like a pro. The more I trained, the smaller my life started to feel. Every decision somehow revolves around running. Can I stay out late? Probably not. Can I go to a friend's dinner? Probably not. Can I have a glass of wine? No. I'm not going to sit here and say the cliche of, oh, and then I realized I've been comparing myself to people that have been training their whole lives for this. We know I'm comparing myself to someone that's been training forever and that this is their full-time job. I know. What I am saying is that when all you see online are those professionals, it is easy to get lost in it. Because if I sit down here and I reflect, I don't actually want my entire life to be revolved around running. I want to get faster, I want to improve, but I don't want running to be the reason that I say no to everything else that could have meaning. Sure, there's a world in which you can recover, eat well, train hard, and live your life, but I don't know if I can do that. I'd rather live in the world where you can skip your recovery ride because your friends invited you to the beach, or you can skip your long run because you're not a pro and it's not that deep. Do I think that the runners that make the most progress are the ones that never ever miss a day and eat the healthiest and push themselves to their limits? Maybe. But what are they doing? I also think that the person that stays in the sport for 10, 20, 30, 40 years is the one that knows how to bend without breaking. You're gonna get invited to so many things in this life: wedding, birthdays, vacations, and when you're in your late 80s, you're not gonna feel guilty for choosing to do those instead of cramming in an extra 3-miler on a Tuesday. I'll remember all of the times that I had quality sessions that don't involve the sport. The biggest lesson in this experiment isn't that training like a professional is impossible. It's learning the difference between doing something because you want to conquer your ego and doing something because it's actually meaningful. I don't know about you, but I didn't start running because I thought one day I'd make it to the Olympics. I started running because I was in a very low place, and it's something that made every other part of my life feel better. It gave me confidence, introduced me to some incredible people, and became something that I genuinely look forward to. And let me tell you a secret. I don't want that joy to disappear just because I'm not a really fast runner. Moral is, yes, I'm gonna keep some of these habits because it feels good to have a high VO2 max. And yes, I'm gonna continue saying yes to my friends because I don't think anyone's gonna have a good life if there's no balance. But I love you guys. It's so nice to be back here. For those that don't know, my channel got hacked, but we are back, we are rolling. I missed you the most. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment. I answer every single one of them. Yeah, hope you guys like my hair. I styled her wavy. It's kind of giving Hogwarts, but you know, if you stayed this long, you know it's fine. Okay, bye!